Wow. So I've been sitting here talking to myself for the last 15 minutes. Or no, I guess 4 minutes. Wow. My apologies, guys. I forgot to press the go live button. As you can see, my brain is all over the place. Anyways, so I guess I gotta start again since nobody heard me say good morning. Nancy, good morning. Vishnu, good morning. Joshua, good morning. Evans, good morning. Sky, good morning. Good thing Sky said waiting for our host because I had no idea I wasn't live. Jesus Christ. Huda, you can't hear him. You can't hear him? I can hear him. Sky, I can hear now. Evans, LOL. Wow. So sorry, guys. Good afternoon. Vishnu, good afternoon. I was wondering why the number wasn't going up here while we were live. But that's probably why. RF, morning, folks. Oscar, good morning. Edgar, no sound. How is sound? Do we got sound? Good morning, good morning. If we have sound and video, guys, please let me know so we can get started here. I was talking to myself for the last 5 minutes, thinking I was live, but little did I know I didn't press the live button. Welcome to my life the last few days. All right. Quinn, good morning. Eric, yeah, we do. Super excited about CHPT. Yep, I actually saw that thing ripping up today. So as I was saying, the jobs number came out a little bit better than expected. That's why we're getting that pop in the market here. So we'll get right to it again. All right, guys. So it wasn't too long ago when we talked about that dip to the 50-day moving average, guys. And where do we go from there, right? We went right from the dip all the way back up here. So what are we doing here? We had that nice push the last few days, kind of sideways consolidation. Clearly, we can see the levels that we're stuck in is that 453, 452 level, right? And we're kind of going sideways here, right? So we pushed up, kind of going sideways. Probably could go sideways a little bit until we break above that 453.30 area and push higher, or until the moving averages kind of catch up with us here. Obviously, the range of the candles are getting smaller and smaller as we're getting a little bit extended, but we trade the levels and that's all we can really do here, okay? So, as always, we're going to start with the SPY, get into the Qs, and then we'll go in and answer some of the questions that you guys may have, all right? So, let's get into the closer time frames here and see what's going on. Right now we have, like I said, we have that push simply because of the jobs number that just came out. Let me put my lines back up and here we are. Okay, guys. So that 452, 450 level, 453 level is the level we need to monitor. Let me pull up my notes here. Perfect. So again, we really need to push above that 453. Okay, if we push above that 453 and hold, then that's a good indication that we can continue and make a push towards the 454.23, right? We have 454.23. This area right here is a small pivot that we need to keep an eye on. And above that, we're going to 456.31, which is more than achievable today. If we get a strong market, we can definitely come to the 456 area. Again, we need to get out of this range bound trading that it's kind of been stuck in and get over that 453.03. Okay. And now on the downside, if we decide to, lose this 452 again, we do open up the doors to that 450.50 area. Okay. We lose that. Obviously, we can come straight down to the 450, some psychological whole number support down there. And if we lose that, the next area that we're looking at is the 448, 448.20, right? This area right here. This area was a strong support area going back to, I guess this is August 26th, right? And once we lost that, we kind of got a lot of selling pressure. It acted as resistance, and then we broke above it. And here we are today with this big move up. So ultimately to the downside, that's going to be the last area if we lose this 450, 452. Okay, now let's get into the QQQ. Obviously, yesterday, the Qs started off with a better move, and they kind of faded throughout the day. And we saw that with the strength in Apple and AMD out the gates. And then they kind of faded throughout the day. So they lost momentum, going from being one of the top 3 sectors to being in the top 10, essentially, or top 6, I should say. All right. So again, the main thing here we need to monitor. Okay, we need to get above that 381. 60 level and hold. Okay, if we do that, we're looking to retest this prior high. Clearly, we can see there's selling pressure here, right? We came up to it, bam, got smacked. And these wicks yesterday are indicating what? They're telling us that there's selling pressure taking place here. Also, this pre-market day on the 31st of August, we also had selling pressure, right? So an area to monitor after holding above this 381.60 is going to be that 382.45, 382.70, 382.60, this range right here. Okay, now if we break above that, we could see a push towards the 383.76. Right, so 383.76. All right, and this is where we're going to see some resistance up here. Okay, we really need to see some strength, some volume, to kind of push it above here. So 383, what did I say? 383.76 right here. We're gonna have to get some volume, some strength in tech to kind of push this above. Then once we do that, we'll look at the levels on the top side. But currently, a lot of resistance to get through. 383.70 area is the top side target I have on the Qs. Now again, on the downside, kind of stuck in that range, right? If we lose that 380, we can come down towards obviously the 3. If we lose a 380.75, 380.90, we can come down to the 380 level. Some support there clearly. And then we're looking at the 379.44. Okay. Ultimately, if we lose that, we do open up room down to the 378.34, which is right around here, which is the bottom of this day on August 31st. Okay. So these are the levels to kind of monitor. Obviously, the notes are in the Discord. You can go back and take a look at them. And yeah, so we just really need both the SPY and the Qs to kind of push up, hold above right at the open in order for us to push higher. But if we get stuck in that range bound trading, you're going to want to be cautious on taking forced trades and kind of forcing trades just to make a move in the market. Okay, guys, so go ahead, post some of the tickers that you want me to take a look at. I'll go over them and we'll discuss them right here on the chat. I'm just going to go through the chat and see if you guys have asked any questions. Super excited about CHBT. I can hear you fine. We have sound now, loud and clear. Sounds good. Mr. Needham, good morning. Late today. Yes. A lot of people were late today. Good morning, brother. Tesla for next week. So let's take a look at Tesla. We got Tesla. Let's go look at the daily. So nice range bound trading right here. You know, we caught it from here up here. We have this resistance area that 369. That 690 and then 635 range bound, broke above it, decent volume break. We had that kind of wedged or pennant forming, broke out, and then market kind of pulled on us and we struggled, right? However, we came back here, right? We have another micro flag kind of forming here, right? And then we kind of broke out again, good, decent volume, consolidating. Now it's really that 750 is going to be a big area of resistance. So really, I think this either two ways this can go. It needs to flag here, push above that 750 and really attempt that 780, or it can very easily reject the 750 resistance, pivot right here, and just kind of roll over and come back to the 690 area. Okay, so needs a little bit more time. Yesterday it got stuffed. It's pretty choppy price action right now on Tesla. So you kind of have to wait for a setup, possibly over 741 to push it towards 750 and then kind of anticipate that 750 break. But the risk reward right here, if you take it at 740, stops have to be at around 715. You got a 27 point stop for about a 6 to 7 maximum 10 point target on the upside. Risk reward is not there for me currently at the moment. Outlook on Microsoft. So let's take a look at Microsoft. Strong push last week, kind of coming up Clearly we see that resistance at 305, pulled back to the moving averages, found some support, again came up to that 305.84. As you can see, I have some alerts set here on Microsoft. Once that alert goes off, I think the break of the 305.84 will trigger it for a move higher. Obviously a huge float stock, lots of market cap in it. So it does move a lot slower and you need a lot more patience with it. You're not going to get a fluid move like you would out of, a Tesla or one of the lower cap stocks. So I'm waiting for that 305.84 to break. If it does, we can attempt that 313, 320 area in the days to weeks to come. However, still no trade, need the 305.84 to break. CHPT for day trade. So CHPT, I know a lot of you guys see the news and you're looking at it to trade it, but here's what the daily looks like. Okay, regardless of what's going on in the intraday, you need to look at the daily. So the daily, we have what? We have resistance at 26.18, right? We have that moving average on the daily sitting at 25.44, okay? And we have this pivot high at 26.50. So let's draw these lines, and then not knowing what's going on today, right? We have no idea what's going on today. I haven't looked at the pre-market chart currently, right? I looked at it before this live. I know what's going on, but before you see that, you want to look at the daily chart and daily resistance levels. So clearly we have the support at 21.90, we have 26.18, 26.73, and we have a moving average right here, right? So the clear move here, what would be, if we can get the stock above this 26.73, we have a clear area to kind of look at for a trade. And that clear area happens to be right here, right? If we break above the 26.73, we don't have much resistance all the way up here until we kind of hit that 200 moving average, right? So now let's get to the closer time frame. So here we are, right? We're sitting at the pre-market level. Obviously, there's a little bit of room towards the 26.20. So what you could do is let the market open, see if you find a flag, or you could take the pre-market high, that the 24.89, maybe the 25 break for a push towards the 26. You got to take profits here. There's a resistance level, and then see how it reacts. If it can push above these levels and hold, well, then you have this entire gray area to kind of push up towards that 29. Okay, so again, break of the 25 will push you towards the 26, 26.20. Take profits there and wait for a new setup. All right, that's CHPT as far as a day trade goes. All right, a few of you are asking about CHPT, so there you go. Relaxing, calming sounds. Hi, sir. Sarah, what's going on? Edgar Lopez. Thanks, Ellie. No problem. I know you mentioned at one time got stock into CBAT. Good time to average it down. CBAT. So that sounds like a. Oof, yeah. I mean, it depends what your outlook on this is. Why did you buy the stock? What was your goal essentially when you did buy it? And how long are you really looking to hold this, and how much capital do you want to keep funneling into the stock? I don't really have much support on this until that 240 area. So it could very easily keep, this downtrend of rejecting that 20 moving average on the daily and just continue coming lower until it sees this 240 area. Maybe you can look to add there, or you can try to see if it double bottoms here at 290 and get a little bit of an addition to your position there. Again, I'm not sure what your outlook is, if this is long-term, short-term. Don't know much about the financials of this company, so I can't help you on the long-term side. As long as the short term goes, obviously the short term is downtrend. Maybe you find some support at 240, and then you can look to try to average down and get into a better position price wise. How does Spotify look for today? So let's take a look at Spotify. Pre-market sitting at 246.26. 246.26. Again, going back to the daily levels, right? We have resistance at 250. We've had a straight solid move from August 19th all the way up to today. So you do the math, how many green days in a row this has had, and then you come into this closer time frame and you ask yourself, okay, where can I go, right? So we can see from 246 to 250 resistance, we have some resistance here, right? I don't want to chase this on the long side, and I really need that break of the 250 to kind of take place for me to see if we can get into this 260 area. But then again, you can't neglect the fact that this has gone from August 19th all the way up to September 2nd, green, 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 right? The realistic thing for this to do is reject the 249, pull back, consolidate, and then attempt to move to break over that 250. To chase it blindly and be naive and say this is going to go to 260, it's a little bit of a risky trade here. Okay, so be careful with it. If you're going to take the break of the 250, make sure you have tight stops on the day trade aspect, or you can ideally wait for a better setup and enter the day trade then. All right, VRTV for long-term entry. VRTV. So VRTV, let's take a look at the max. So a huge move off the bottom. It's gone from, this is on, let's say this year. Okay, it's up 420%. Okay, so 420%. Very nice breaks on the daily. Break the 50, push it up nice here. Even the break of the 67 pushed it up nice here. Right here to the dip to the 20-day moving average. Solid push here. I do not want to start a long-term position here. Again, I don't know anything about this company. I don't know their financials. I don't know what they do. Simply on a chart basis, trying to start a long position after a 420% move to the upside in 1 year is a little bit risky. You have to wait for some sort of a pullback, at least to the 20, maybe to the 50, ideally, or just look for something better. I mean, there's lots of, right now, this seems to be the hot name, and this seems to be the name that's running consistently. But just like tech was the hot name, and just like tech was running for so long, coming into, early January, February, look what happened here, right? We have a 300% move, or sorry, this is a 2000% move. Yeah, APPS. Okay, let's start at $9, for example. Okay, this is 1,000% move. Okay, this thing continuously to push, and then everybody keep buying it up here, thinking it's, it's a long-term play, and now they're all buried, right? So you have to take that into consideration. You want to try and buy long terms close to the 200 moving average. I know it's kind of hard because it's continuously running, but the smart decision would be to wait for a pullback. Obviously, this has gone up about 400%, so it's risky to chase this thing up here. OKTA for day trade. I know a lot of people mentioned this, but not really sure what the idea here behind this is. So had earnings pushed down, obviously coming back up again, going back to the daily. Don't see much trade in it unless we can get above this resistance area of 266.86. Okay, if we can get above this 266.86, 267, then we have a clear area from here to here. That gets a pretty nice gap we can kind of try to fill from 267 to 279, right? Obviously not in a 1 day kind of move, but there is empty space that can give it a nice move to the upside. So I'll probably keep this on watch. I like how this resistance area we kind of consolidate it, and a break of the 267 can kind of push it towards higher moves on the intraday level. But again, we need the break of the 267. Hola, can you review Cisco for this week? So we've looked at Cisco. Let's take a look at the daily again. As you guys can see, everything starts with the daily, right? We had that earnings, nice push, nice solid move on earnings, pulling back into that support of the 58.19. We can start to see these bottom wicks forming on here, right? So if we can get above this 59.20 area, I think Cisco can push back to the 60.27. We'll have some resistance to the 60.88, but ideally, I think as a short-term swing, we could kind of see this go up to the 63. But again, a little bit of a slow mover. It's going to grind and chop as it moves up, as it usually does. This straight move right here was due to the earnings, and it had nice earnings, so it pushed up nice and easily. However, usually this thing does have a pretty small range bound movement, and it does take some time to get to targets. Okay, so over that 59.20, we'll give it a nice curl and attempt at 60.30, and then we can try to take the upper targets here. Okay, but again, from 59 to 60.80, it's about $1.88. Not much range, like I said. MYOV. Guys, for those of you that are here, please go ahead and smash the like button. I do appreciate it if you guys do that. And as always, we do go live every Thursday. So MYOV, again, clear resistance, clear resistance, clear resistance, kind of coming into it here again. So we really need to see, you know, what it's going to do. We have another resistance level at 25.55. Not something I want to touch currently. I'm afraid that it might hit these levels and kind of pull back down and do exactly what it could possibly continuously has done before, right? Reject and pull back. Ideally, you need this to break above the 25.55, hold, consolidate above that level, close above that level in order to move higher. AMD, nice falling wedge into the support here on AMD. Yesterday had a little bit of a struggle. It's not getting a fluid move like I wanted, right? I mean, ideally, I want this to continue to move higher, but we need kind of market strength with it. Volume's kind of dying down on the sell side, so I want this to kind of turn around and kind of push, but still in an uptrend, still holding over 20 moving average. Just need a little bit more patience with this one. As far as getting entries on it right now, you could try to wait for the 108 maybe to get in, but the entry really was right here around the touch of that 20-day moving average on the daily. Heather, you're very welcome. Aman, you're welcome. Skies and ABNB flag breakout on daily yesterday. ABNB. I don't see a flag here. Is it at 156? So not the cleanest. I want, like, for a flag, it kind of needs to stay a little bit high and tight. We kind of had that pullback, and now it's kind of looking like it wants to do like a H. So pull and H, which is actually a little bit bearish, and we can see these top wicks forming. So if it continues this pattern, it can actually come back down to the 151. The flag that we're looking at is kind of, you know, it stays here, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up, and we can kind of get that flag going. But this red candle kind of killed the momentum on this big move, right? Ideally, when you get a big candle like this guy, you want to keep the move within 50% of the prior candle. If you go anything under that 50-60%, then it kind of kills the move on the upside, right? So we had a move here. We came down about more than halfway, right? So it kind of kills that entire momentum, and people are kind of now stuck in it. So it's kind of forming an H. Really got to wait for it to kind of get back up here. Maybe if it breaks this 164 area, then we can kind of tackle it to the upside. But again, I don't like how it kind of pulled back so hard, and now it's kind of forming an H pattern, which is a little bit bearish. OKT idea is based on good earnings and upgrade. OKT idea. Got it. Okay, so you looked at the earnings. Perfect. Yeah, so I mean, with OKTA is actually not a bad chart, right? Over 267, we put it in a nice gap area. Not much price action here, right? So once we get over 267, not a bad trade, actually. I think this will kind of push it up. Good morning, boss. CRWD, please. Ganesh, you're late. You are late, my friend. Can we hit the like button? For sure. Can we hit the like button? So not a good look. Not a good look for CRWD here. You know, we had a nice push with volume coming back into support. This is not a candle you want to see coming into support. Obviously, what does this tell us? This tells us we opened, pushed up, sellers took over, struggled to, you know, stay above the close price, closed down, and we closed near the bottom of the day, right? Obviously, we have that gap up today, but I mean, this right now to me looks like under that 269.75 level, we're going to open up and come down to the 262, 263. So I will keep this on the watch for the downside, actually. Okay, not a good look in the short term. Might come back down here and put it back in this channel before it does anything. All right. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Again, every Thursday I do go live 8:30 a.m. Just been a little bit of a hectic week here. So again, sorry for talking to myself for 5 minutes before actually going live. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And I got to get back to the room, get ready for market open, and go ahead and smash the like button. All right, guys. Thank you guys all for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys all next week.